Hello everyone. Hello, can you guys hear me? Good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. We're going to begin in another few seconds. So meanwhile, while you guys are already in the lobby, you guys will show you a video of our Raffles University, a little bit of introduction. Okay, so sit back, relax, and do enjoy. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back again. I'm pretty sure some of you just came in from the previous talk. So I would like to welcome you again to Raffles University Open Day Online Seminar. I'm Janice, Education Consultant of Raffles University, and I'll be your MC for today. So today, currently we are having an interesting topic. What should I need to study to become a multimedia designer? And we are very honored to have Mr. Elam to be our speaker. Mr. Alam Oi has obtained a Masters of Instructional Design and Technology from Open University Malaysia, specializing in e-learning and educational technology in 2018. Mr. Alam had a total of 7 years of experience in teaching. He also had 6 years of design industry experience being an interactive graphic and web designer in Singapore and Brunei, developing his knowledge and insight in advertising, web development, and internet marketing. So, without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Elam for his sharing. Mr. Elam?
Okay, thank you, Janice. So like what Janice have mentioned just now, okay, my name is Alan, and today I will be the main speaker to introduce to you how to become a multimedia designer. So, Janice, perhaps now I can share my screen.
Yes, you may. Go ahead.
Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so I believe now you guys can see my slide. Okay, so now, so to begin with the topic, right? So I believe there is a need to slowly, introduce to you, what exactly is multimedia. So some of you, when you look at the title for today's program, right, you might be a little bit confused. Like when you say multimedia, what exactly it is. So because it's a very generic term. So I think it's better for me to start from the term what is a media first. Okay, so we'll go through the few topic. What would I say? A topic is like a few idea that what is media is about and what is multimedia, and then what can people do with multimedia. So at the end, I will tell you what exactly you need, like what sort of skill or what sort of knowledge you need to know before you can become a multimedia expert. Okay, so I guess we can begin with media. So if we go through a very technical terms, media is a communication outlets or tools that used to store and deliver information or data. So you can say in a layman term, right? It's basically it is a certain object that or certain tools that you can use to record our message and deliver it to a different person. So when I talk about message, and then a lot of you guys will be thinking that, oh, like WhatsApp message, social media, all those things, right? So of course, it's not that complicated. Actually, a media can be something very, very simple. It can be a piece of paper. It can be your voice. It can be even a piece of leaf. It can be like even a little rice grain. People can make artwork on it. They can do a sculpture. So as long as it is certain object, then when people look at it, they understand what is the message that has been stored or recorded in that object. That is considered a media. But of course, in here, of course, I wouldn't teach you how to like carve on the rice grain. So those are like, those are different things. Okay, so when we talk about media here, right, we talk about something that we start from something is a bit more traditional. So first we look at we talk about media, like newspaper. Okay, so it's still one of the mainstream media that used to deliver news or latest happening, like things that happening in our community, and followed by books. Okay, so I believe you have a lot of books, textbooks or some other like professional knowledge books, comic books. So regardless what kind of books it is, as long as it carries certain message, it has stories, it has writings, it has drawings, it's considered a media as well. Then next thing, we always say a photo carries 1,000 words. So that means a photo itself, although it's to us, it's like a simple selfie or something like that, but it actually has more than just a pretty photo. It can be a photo that has a story, has a meaning, or it reflects certain culture. So that's why photography, even though now we are in the digital era, okay, we have digital photography, it carries a lot of attraction or very important message. That's why in social media as Instagram, you still see that photo is still the mainstream of our daily life. The next thing, of course, we have radio. Okay, so radio in a way that it is more towards like our music, speech, or even something like you have DJ talking about maybe things like latest happening. They are playing some sort of games with you. So radio, regardless it's a traditional one or it's an internet radio, but the basic function of it is still the same. Is to actually to deliver entertainment and also deliver meaningful information through the use of audio. So the last one here is basically our video. So in the video here, we talk about includes things like TV stations. Okay, regardless it's Astro or it is something like the Singapore channel or something. Okay, it doesn't really matter as long as it is a TV channel. You consider as the video, and then of course to younger audience like you guys, right? I believe you will be more interested in things like YouTube, maybe Facebook video, Netflix. Those are the things that I think if you have a really good internet at home, you could have been using them for quite a while already. So this is what we call traditional media, because individually each of them are using some more simple form of we call it media elements. Okay, for us to use them to deliver message. So what do I mean by this thing called the media elements? So these are the media elements. These are the 5 basic type. So you have text, you have graphic, you have audio, video, animation. So each of them allow you to develop into a media. Like let's say text, we can put it on paper, we can put it on website, we can put it on put it inside the video. So for graphic, we can make it into a form of a photo, a form of a painting, a form of like I don't know, maybe something like games character. So those are the graphic. Audio, like I said before, like the radio channel, or it can be music, it can be regardless it's MP3 or live performance. Those are considered audio. So video, basically video like you regardless it's YouTube video, 4K video, or things like DVD or something, Blu-ray, all those are considered video. animation. So no matter it's 2D animation, like maybe some of you love anime a lot. Maybe some of you like 3D animation. Okay, so maybe some like I don't know, something a bit more realistic, like let's say the Marvel superheroes, Avengers, that they use a lot of 3D animation in it, or maybe you like Frozen 2 as well. So those are considered animation, regardless it's 2D or 3D. So when you have all these basic media, each of them is very powerful. But when you combine them, then what can you get? You get something that is very powerful and something that is very flexible. So we don't really have one term that we can categorize them, so we call it multimedia. So when you say multimedia means like, let's say I combine text, graphic, and let's say animation together, then I can create something different. Okay, so what can we get? Example, because of the use of digital media, that means that we have computer, we have handphone. So nowadays, they can do a lot of calculation. So that's why they allow us to combine the media together. So we have things like games, okay? PlayStation 5 is coming, Nintendo Switch is very popular. So I think some of you are maybe like PC master race, so you will prefer to have PC games. Then, of course, when you talk about PC, it's not just about games. So we have things like website. And you guys know, right? Today is 12/12. I'm not sure if some of you, maybe your parents are buying things already. There's a lot of discount from all like Lazada, Shopee. Okay, I shouldn't advertise for them. But anyway, this is like today is the shopping day. So website is also a form of digital media that is very useful. Perhaps some of you already doing, you have been buying things online already. So we also have things like social media. So don't tell me you never use any social media before. Okay, I hardly believe that. Almost everyone nowadays have like Facebook, Twitter, maybe Instagram. So more or less you might be using like one or more. Okay, so I'm not surprised that some of you are already a YouTuber. Okay, that would be cool. So if you are though, make sure you come to us. We'll do more experience sharing. By the way, I'm not a YouTuber. Okay, so of course 2020, the one thing, I'm not sure it's a good thing or bad thing, but for students, I think online lessons, like using Zoom for lessons, using Microsoft Team, all these we call it online conference software. Then you'll be like using all kind of website and tools to do your homework, to do your exam. So a lot of things has been changing. So because of we have this pandemic, so people has been using all kind of digital media to do different tasks that we used to do it offline. Like let's say learning. Last time maybe we only use the computer, to play some video, something simple in the classroom. People watch it, then you do some discussion, then you do your homework. Maybe something is a bit more simple. But now, instead of just doing that, you have to use all the different program. You need to be better at using things and to put your answer in like a different, like this is put it in PowerPoint. You put it. You need to export a video format or something. So digital media, when you know how to use it, you notice you can use it in a lot of scenario. And there are some people, they are really good at using them and they manage to become someone that is very successful. So let me share with you some of them. Okay, so I'll share it in terms of a few directions. First one is the website. So what people do with website, they combine text, they combine graphic, they combine video, then you get a website. Then you have games. So games, we have graphic, we have audio, we have text, we have animation. You combine them, then you get your new 3D games. Like I'm not sure if anyone into like Cyberpunk 2077. That one is something is really hot topic now. Maybe some of you prefer mobile game. Maybe you are playing like Genshin Impact. Okay, it's a big thing since the last 2-3 months. Okay, so then you have apps. Okay, mobile apps, you use it a lot. So graphic, audio, text. So like your Facebook is also nowadays is also a mobile apps. Of course, mobile app is a bit generic. Actually, even in apps, we have different terms for it. So but the idea here, you understand, is that when you combine all these elements together, they become something that is very powerful, something that you use every day, something that can solve people's problem, something that can help them in their daily life. So what people do with it, just now I talk about the successful people, right? So let's see, once you have the skills in handling multimedia, what can you do? So first, right, this guy, anyone knows him? Okay, maybe some of you don't know, okay, but just let you know, he is Mark Zuckerberg. He is the founder of Facebook. So what's so unique about him? So back then, he was a really good programmer. He know how to build website. He know how to write codes and stuff. But that alone is not enough. So he is very good in web technology. And then after that, he realized that people need to socialize. People want to know about each other. People want to share status, share their latest happening, their daily life. So he combined the social activity and this website technology. When he combined both together, then we get Facebook. So it becomes something that is so successful. I think no one will doubt it. It's very powerful now that we can do a lot of things on it. Okay, so this is the first example. Now we go into the second. This guy, the guy that want to become a KFC worker but got rejected. So his name is Jack Ma. Okay, so Jack Ma is when we talk about Jack Ma, the very first thing you will think about is Alibaba. Or for you guys, the younger one, maybe it's something like Taobao, Tmall, where maybe you hear from your friends or your parents say, maybe I'll order something from Taobao again, or it's so cheap to order online from China, something like that.
So you mean Ma Yuan, Jack Ma?
Yeah, Jack Ma. Yes, Jack Ma is Ma Yun. Jack Ma is his English name. So when we talk about him, right, then we talk about all the thing he had been doing is about using website to do trading, right? So you trade things. So you combine this trading activity and you combine website technology, then you will have Alibaba, Tmall, Taobao, Alipay. So it's because his vision that he knows that internet is the future. So he bring a team of people that is very good in building website, and then he will lead the team to how to combine it with trading activity like buy and sells. So that's how he become very successful. By the way, Lazada also belongs to him, just for her information. Okay, so these two guys, they are called the Russell brothers. So what's so special about them? They are actually the director of the Marvel Heroes movie. So all the superheroes movie, not all, I mean the Marvel ones, like the famous Avenger, is basically directed by them. So what they do, of course, they are the director, then they must be very good with video, right? Like, shooting video, telling story through video. So when you have good skill in handling video and you have good skill in telling the story, then you will get something that is very entertaining. Something is very fun to watch. Okay, so all the Marvel movies is conducted by them. So Avengers has become the one of the best-selling movie in the history. So from here you can see when we go through a few kind of combinations, right? It's always the technical part and also the humanity part. Things about story, things about human activity like buy and sell, things like socialize. When we combine them, great things happen. Okay, and that's what you need creativity to make it happen. So when I talk about creativity, right, this last person is someone that I really need to tell. Okay, need to share with you. So his name is Shigeru Miyamoto. So what's so special about him? He's basically a programmer. He's good at writing program. So what did he combine? He combined this thing called fun. He want to make fun things with program. So what you get? You get games. Games like what? Mario.
Super Mario, Legend of Zelda, Donkey Kong?
Yes, it's all created by him. So he is highly he has very good reputation when it comes to creating games. So Nintendo is always working with him to create all kind of characters, all new gameplay. So all these things, right? It's all because they have good knowledge, they have good understanding what multimedia is about, and they add their creativity on it. So having the creativity is really important. So now after you go through a few examples, right? When you tell people that you want to study multimedia, people will be like, you take video, you take photo, you draw things, where got future one? So a lot of people have been associate multimedia with things that like it's just for entertainment. No, it's just you just play around only. You don't really actually do important things. Really? Now I'll share with you. Okay, multimedia is not just about movies or just about games. Actually, we have a lot more than this. Okay, so it's more than just fun and play. So first, let's look at medical. It's like multimedia and medical. How is it related? So first one, okay, doctors nowadays, right? Now they use online consultation a lot. Actually, it is getting more and more popular. So you can book a doctor, have an online session with them, to check your body. Then some doctor even using things like 3D image. So this kind of 3D image, after they scan your body, they will generate this kind of picture with different color. They were able to tell, okay, which part have cancer and which part, the bones are not correct, and how are they going to do the operation. They're going to show you some animation of what they are going to do. So the communication between the doctor and the patient is a lot more effective nowadays. And they even use computer to help doctor to make the right decision, like finding out which part that is actually wrong. The computer will help them to do that. All these need multimedia to support. And also, when you come about doctors, right? Doctors, they need to go through a lot of training and a lot of like upgrading themselves. So nowadays, in order to practice, right, they actually use VR, like how to train, like for let's say emergency, like someone just have a car accident, then has been sent into the hospital. So this doctor, they're wearing this kind of like VR device. It's like playing a game. But of course, it's not for the fun. It's for them to handle this kind of like a special situation, an emergency. So how are they going to treat them? What is the step by step? How they can handle all this situation? So just because you study multimedia, it doesn't mean that multimedia is only used for something fun. It can use for something serious like medical. So game company or movie company is not the only way that you can go after studying multimedia. So next thing, other than medical, we also have use it in education. Just now we talked about the VR training, right? So it's not just for medical stuff. Actually, we also use it in classroom. Okay, you know already for the one whole year. If you are studying Form 5, then you know. So Zoom, Google Classroom, Microsoft Team, all these are pretty common, you know already. So second one is people use virtual reality training for military and sports. So the one on top is if not mistaken, is they are training soldiers in a VR scenario in Ireland. So they are training the soldiers like how to handle, like let's say different weather, different kind of timing, how to make sure the soldier know what to do. So at the bottom, you can see it's like the New York is ice hockey. So how are they going to do the training, like how to block the, what you call that thing, the small boarding, so they can use it for their training. So all these things has been changing the life of people to become, we start to break free from the constraint from the time and space. You don't have to go to the field to do the training. You don't have to go out to do the shopping. You don't have to like be in the classroom to do the study. So there are so many things you can do. Like last one here, okay, I'm gonna share the business. Now, what can you do with business? So of course I'm not talking about buying. Buying, I believe, is really normal to you guys. But what about, have you think about selling your own product? Maybe you want to like, sell your own art and craft. Maybe you want to sell the video that you want to create. Maybe you want to be a YouTuber. Maybe your family restaurant now, when talk about restaurant, they have been working with like Food Panda, Grab Food for the online food delivery. So if your family have some sort of like business nowadays, maybe they are doing something like Facebook advertising, they are doing Instagram advertising. So multimedia is used for a lot of different activities. And the last one, okay, maybe I share with you something a bit more fun. Okay, it's like tourism. So tourism here, you see the picture at the right side, right? So what can we do with tourism? How multimedia can improve tourism? So first is this thing called the projection mapping. You see the Merlion on the right side. You see there's so many colors on the statue. And then you see the in the Japan, the Gundam statue on the right side as well. So what they do is that they actually use the projector, and then the projector will project the animation on top of this statue. So it becomes something that is more fun than just a standing thing. So using projection mapping, it become like a really iconic or something that is really meaningful kind of presentation. So all countries are using this. So don't be surprised, Malaysia need these kind of things. But do you get to see a lot of things around us? Not yet, right? Because the expert to produce this thing is still not enough. That's why we want our students to be able to come out, able to combine with all these different elements so that they can use it, to help the country, to help the business to become better. So on the left side, you see this kind of, this guy that is lying on top of this white color device thing. So that one is actually a VR simulator. I have tried it in Singapore. I think Singapore Museum of Science and Art. So this device allows you to simulate as if you are a bird. So you are from a building, then you jump down and then you fly. Then when you move your hand, your left arm and your right arm, then you're able to flap like a bird. Then you can fly up, fly down. It's quite kind of fun. And then you also have things at the bottom here. It's basically like a museum. So in the museum, you'll be wearing this kind of VR headset. So other than seeing the thing in front of you, you can actually see additional information or like video. So going to museum nowadays, right, it's not just to see that thing alone, but you can also see some kind of 3D graphic and pictures and video all together. So museum nowadays, right, is very different from the normal museum that we have been through like maybe 10 years ago. It's a lot more fun. So that's why museum is always you can say almost my number one priority when I go to overseas travel, because they are so fun. There are so many things you can see in the museum. Okay, so now after you see through so many things that how people use it in different industry, right? So what you can be. So when you study things like multimedia design, because graphic design already covered by the previous session by Dr. Tirani, so I will talk more about multimedia design and game design. Okay, so when it comes to multimedia design and game design, right? So after you study, what can you be? So first one, of course, most of you maybe will be very interested in this thing called becoming a game designer. So to become a game designer, you need to know things like, of course, 3D graphic, because 3D games is really popular. And then you also need to know about the theory in creating game design, and then like how to design a beautiful character. So a lot of mobile games nowadays, right? Now they will draw like really pretty girls or pretty guys, strong warrior for you to use. So maybe some of you are playing Mobile Legend, your favorite hero, you choose it because not just because he's strong. Maybe she's pretty, or maybe he looks pretty, I don't know, awesome in a way. So having a beautiful character is very important for any games. So of course, to work as a game designer, you also need to know how to create animation, like know how to speed fire, how to how to do some very strong sword play or something like that. So all those things you need to know as a game designer. Or when you study multimedia, you can do your own e-commerce. So I actually teach my students how to create their own e-commerce store. So they will need to learn things like web design. They need to learn things like how to create their own brand. And then they will also need to know like how to do digital marketing, like running their advertisement on Facebook or in Instagram. So they will also need to know how to take photo of their product. Beautiful pictures will make you want to buy it, right? So having good photo is so important. So of course, maybe some of you want to be a YouTuber. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you have something fun to share, or maybe you're good at talking. Then you will need to know how to use video editing. So all YouTubers will tell you that, oh, I spend how long to edit the video, shoot the video, because they want to tell a good story. So storytelling and video editing is very crucial for any YouTuber. Then after that, they will also need to know this thing called digital marketing. Why? Become a YouTuber will not earn you a lot of money, But when you are popular, then what can you do? How do you collaborate with different brands so that you can market products, you can help to sell certain things. So YouTuber, they will always say, they're like sponsor from this brand, sponsor from that brand. Actually, all those are digital marketing. They all have a certain rules and format they need to go through. So you will need to know digital marketing to become a YouTuber. So what else? Okay, this is another three. So we have app designer, we have 3D artist, we have videographer. So I'll start from app. So maybe you have been dreaming like, okay, maybe you're going to build your own apps, like then I'm going to build something like the new Google Map or the Waze, or you want to build something that is more useful, like you want to create the next Facebook, or you want to create the next Instagram or something. Then you need to know things like UI, UX, branding, and even digital marketing as well. So if you don't market your app, no one will get to notice it. So or you can become a 3D artist. 3D artist is something very specialized. That means they are very good with 3D, like 3D modeling. They make things that looks really good in 3D, like having this kind of how to make the thing really look like metal, how to make trees in a very realistic way, how to draw some really beautiful characters. So that's why they need to know drawing and animation as well. So you need the character after you create them in 3D, right? You need to move them. How to make them move more naturally? How to make them, how to make the trees, flower bloom in 3D environment. So 3D artists will learn how to do that. So last one is videographer. So videographer here, instead of YouTuber is like the person that do the storytelling and the video at the same time. But you notice, right? YouTuber usually they don't really have very good video skill. That means they focus more on themselves or focus on the content they are telling. But for videographer, it will be something different. They focus on video quality. So they will need to be very good in photography, video editing for sure. Then they will also need to know how to do motion graphic, and also they will be able to tell the story as well to make sure that the video actually makes sense to them. So these are the few things that okay, we'll say some of the position that is highly relevant with game design and multimedia design. So I'm not sure which one that you guys are interested in. Perhaps in future, if we have chance, then we can have more details talk of what you actually like. So I'm going to conclude my session. So first is that let us look again multimedia. So next time when people talk to you multimedia, it's about drawing things. Tell them it's not just drawing. Tell them also it's not just about taking photo. Anyone can take photo. You have camera, right? You have phone, right? So is everyone taking the same kind of photo? Some people take photo look so beautiful. Some look beautiful and meaningful. So it's not just about taking photo. Photo is something anyone can do. Same goes to video. Who cannot take video? You press the button, you have the video already. But why you pay money to go to cinema? Because you want something more than just a video. So it's not just about making poster, so who don't know how to make poster? I believe some of you in secondary school, you learn Photoshop already. Put text, put picture together. Now I have a poster. Really. But can that poster help people to make money? Can that poster help people to make sales? That is something different, right? So that is the skills that we can give it to you, something additional. So it's not just about making website. Making a website has no meaning. Making a website that help other people is the key. So that's why I say it's not just about entertainment. It's not just about fun. It's about being meaningful, being helpful. So what do you mean? Is to make communication become better so that you can learn better. You can talk to each other better. That is making teaching more effective. So nowadays you don't learn just from textbook. You learn from website, you learn from YouTube video, you learn from something like digital books like PDF. You also learn from playing games. So teaching nowadays is not just about reading books. It's a lot more than that. So we have even have website, let's say like graphic designer. When we do our research, we will use like Pinterest, we use Behance, we use some other website that is more professional for our area. That's why all this is possible because of multimedia. And it's making performance more interesting. Like just now I talk about the tourism. So it's not just about having someone that is dancing. So nowadays they have people dancing together with some 3D characters in the background. So we have like a lot of fancy animation. So it become more and more interesting. So it's about making product more attractive. So all the photography skill, all the video skill, they make the thing look so much clearer, make it more perfect, so that it's helping business to do sales as well. So when you can control multimedia, you can control communication, you can help people to deliver message, to make things better. So at the end, right, it's about multimedia is making people become more productive, to make things easier, meaningful, and also make it more effective. Okay, so I guess that's all my sharing. And now I believe we can go into the Q&A session. So do you guys have any questions that you would like to ask? Okay, let me exit my screen.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Elam. Anyone who has questions, you guys can unmute your mic one by one, else you guys can write up inside the chat box.
Anyone? Any anime lovers or something like that, or any game players over here?
But what do we have to do if you wanna like when it comes to that designs, what do you have to do to like do we even but when we're animating making animatics do we exactly have to follow the anatomy or what?
Of course, before you go and create something stylish, right? So first you will need to understand what are the things that you are doing. So example, let's say you want to draw a cat. So for sure you need to know what is on the cat, right? Like let's say their eyes, their whiskers. So same goes with drawing human. So when you're trying to draw, let's say you want to draw an old lady. So you will more or less know that the old lady anatomy is different from a baby. So we need first, before we draw anything, we need to understand. But when it comes to the end product, whether you want to follow exactly like the anatomy or not is totally up to your style. So some style will say that, let's say you want to draw some really realistic, let's say like Final Fantasy kind of style, then you will need to have very good anatomy. But if you want to create comic, so comic like as an example like animation like Simpson, in that case anatomy is not so important. So I will at the end it's about your understanding towards let's say human body before you can go and develop your style. Do we need to be good at IT? Okay, this is asked by Khadija. Okay, so this is a really good question. Okay, so some of you are come from graphic design talk just now, right? So in the graphic design talk, I believe you have go through some understanding like graphic design is about art, communication, and also of course there is a business aspect in graphic design. So over there, I would say in terms of technical skills, it's not as heavy because that is not their major. But when you choose multimedia, right, we will focus more on functionality. Example, when you want to like build apps or you want to like build a website, you will be more or less need to get involved with the technical things, let's say a little bit of programming, a little bit of scripting. So let's say when you want to build an e-commerce website, so for sure you will need to have a bit of understanding. But it's not to the point that like a programmer, not like a programmer that they spend like need to write like few thousand line of codes. Of course, it's not as complex, but having IT skill is very helpful in multimedia design because they give you more possibilities. But it's not exactly required. At least, right? If let's say you are okay with it, you are willing to learn it, that would be good enough. Okay. Any more questions?
Anyone on the bay who has doubts and questions here?
Hmm.
Okay, I see that there's no other questions at the moment, or probably they are still typing. Mr. Elam,
Yes.
are you saying that in multimedia design alone is like a combination between mass communication and IT?
Yes. That is the nature of media because you see mass communications, right? Okay, for your information, mass communication is something like PR, journalism. So their mass communication basically is like you preparing the content for the mass media. So you are more like the one that is prepare the content. But then the multimedia designer is the one that take all this content and make it into a media format. Let's say I take the text from a journalist, and then I will make it into a website format, or I put it inside the app, or I update it through news, news channel or something like that. So we are like the in-between person between the one that have generate the content and also the person that is controlling the IT part.
Okay, I see. I think there's a few people, no questions on the way. But as we can see right now, COVID, everything is moving online and digital, especially when everyone's utilizing Facebook and a few other platforms for live to because there's no physical face-to-face kind of a thing anymore at this moment. Just wondering if the future is really bright for multimedia design students once they graduate.
Yes, that one is for sure. So even though nowadays, right, let's say COVID is getting currently is getting more serious, but think about it. Now all the schools, right, which school are not using e-learning now? Almost all the schools have been using it, right? So when you start using it, it's very difficult to go back. That means like suddenly you say, okay, now we are going to like forget what happened in 2020. We are going to stop using all this thing. It's impossible. So when people are using, like let's say when people are using this kind of technology, like let's say e-learning or something like that. So one of the challenges of the teacher in this year, right, is that there is not enough content that is suitable for them to deliver in the classroom. People suddenly realize that. I believe not just the teacher, I think as a student, you guys, you will notice that it's so you don't really get to have a lot of a very meaningful video or a very meaningful website that actually will tell you what you can do with what you need to learn in your lesson. So people have been forced to use something that is not as effective. So I believe this problem, right, all teachers and even the Ministry of Education, they notice it. For sure, they will ask the multimedia designer to develop something that is more suitable for learning. So instead of a teacher suddenly just go online and simply grab don't know whose video and trying to make you understand. So in future, more government, I mean, not just Malaysia, of course. Let's say overseas government, they will for sure to dedicate more resources for designer. Like I want to help people to learn science, okay, following our syllabus. So instead of like some weird video online, so they want something that is more control, something that is more precise. So who is going to make them? They can't just ask the teacher and go to the sea and take the video, right? So they need the videographer to do that. And they need the video editor to do that. So that's why I would say the demand for media is getting more and more. And just look at how popular YouTuber nowadays. There are more and more YouTuber in the market. So in order to survive as a YouTuber, your skills in storytelling, your skills in editing your video. So people nowadays very picky. If the video is a bit blur or ugly, right? Maybe they don't even have the patience to continue already. So all this technical skill, where can you get it? Multimedia design. So I would say that the demand is definitely, it can only go up. It will never go down. But of course, it depends on what, as a student, right, what you choose to do. If let's say you join multimedia design and then you just think about, I just want to know how to draw pretty girls, then of course you will have a very fierceful, what you call it, challenge or competition, because it's not enough. There are just some of the things I say. Nowadays, multimedia designers, what they are doing, they are making games. Making games are still considered basic, They are doing like virtual reality. They are doing augmented reality. They are doing projection mapping. They are doing things that is way more complicated than just drawing. That's why I say multimedia design is not just about drawing. It's more than that.
Okay, I hope Mr. Alam has answered most of your questions. Is there anyone who wanted to ask any questions? I think the bay is very quiet. Probably everyone is busy with their 12 checking out
Shopping.
whatever they are buying today. Okay, thank you, Mr. Alam, for your wonderful sharing. Let's say if there is no other questions in the bay, I hope to see you guys on the next session, which we'll be having at 2 o'clock, which is interior design. So as you guys can click in the link in the chat button as you scroll here. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful session here and you guys understand. Let's say if you guys have any other things you'd like to ask after this, you can follow up with your um, consultants.
Okay, I guess
Okay.
thank you for having me today, to share with you guys. So I'm glad that I can help the students to understand more about what you will be learning today. Okay, thank you very much, and I hope to see you again.
Okay. See you guys. All right. You're welcome. Bye.